Healthy Lifestyle Crib presents 6 signs someone is pretending to be okay. Do you picture a glum face or a lonely person sobbing in the corner when you hear the word depression? If only it were always so clear when something is terribly wrong. It's not quite that easy, unfortunately. The double-edged sword of this generalization is that people who are actually suffering from depression may be unfairly accused of fakery if they appear happy or otherwise normal to the outside observer. We'll discuss indicators that the socialite or straight-A student is actually struggling with depression. Even if the mask is well made, it is still a mask, and they may need your sympathy and understanding despite the facade. Alright, let's get started. Number 1. Their world is on fire, but they still smile. Picture the dog from the internet meme. I see no problem with this. Not to be confused with a twinkling grin or smirk. These are the smiles that don't quite fit the person overall. The corners of the mouth may be curved just so, but the eyes still look sad and filled with pain. With that grin, they're trying to hide their true emotions or simply brush them off. This condition is known as smiling depression, for lack of a better term. They are people whose lives appear normal, even healthy, from the outside, but who are actually suffering from the debilitating effects of depression. Major depressive disorder with atypical features is the more accurate medical term for what is commonly known as smiling depression. Number 2. They always have an excuse ready, like, I'm busy, whenever they are asked to go out. There is still a stigma attached to depression, and many people are unwilling to deal with or acknowledge that someone close to them suffers from this illness. The depressed person may feel ashamed, helpless, or as though they are a burden on their loved ones if they admit to having a depressive episode, so they may try to conceal the fact that they are experiencing depression. They quickly offer a hazy explanation to the other person and then pull back further. Number 3. Everything, including themselves, is just a big joke to them. There's a knowledge tidbit going around saying that lots of comedians are depressed. That makes sense given the nature of this sign. A good sense of humor is important to many people, but the ways in which individuals choose to inject it into their lives vary greatly. Joking that is shared with others, which puts people at ease, or which simply reflects an upbeat perspective on life is not usually indicative of hidden depression. An indication of depression is when the jokes aren't funny to the people in on them. To begin, there's aggressive humor. When someone uses humor as a weapon to demean, manipulate, ridicule, and offend others, much like a bully who uses their victims as a means to release their own stress and anxiety. Self-deprecating humor is another coping mechanism used to hide depression. One has the tendency to make fun of oneself in order to gain others' amusement. In this respect, you have placed yourself squarely in the role of butt monkey, almost daring others to laugh at you. Both are employed in order to conceal one's true emotions from one's own awareness and from those around them. Number 4. They accomplish everything during the day, but then they crash hard when they get home. Mental illness and depression are highly individual traumas. When it comes to friends, family, and coworkers, few people are comfortable opening up about their struggles. When depressed, one's sense of self-worth is severely diminished. This means that they care about how their peers and the general public perceive them professionally. Therefore, all their resources go into this one area, and they are unable to give anything else their full attention. Number 5. Because they've been there, they have more empathy and empowerment. Perhaps it's the old adage that misery loves company, but it could also be a case of someone finally realizing they're not alone. I don't wish this emotion on anyone else. It's the drive to form bonds with other people through this common ground. It's often the realization that they need people who will be there for them and who they can also relate to, showing them that they're not alone. However, it is important to strike a balance between enabling depression and providing adequate support for working through problems. Helping someone by stepping in and fixing their problems or removing their roadblocks is not productive. This, however, prevents them from gaining agency by teaching them to solve the problem on their own. Number 6. When asked bluntly what's wrong, they always make up some lame excuse like, I'm just tired, or some such. Look, we get it. It's only natural to feel exhausted after running the marathon, and there are days when the pace is much faster than usual. Additionally, we are well aware that this is not the norm and that not every day is the same. If saying, I'm tired, is becoming routine, it may have additional significance. Fatigue and exhaustion is a symptom experienced by around 90% of depressed people. This is understandable given the enormous burden that mental health issues place on the individual, which is often compared to a battery that never fully charges. In other words, before you confidently declare, oh, that person is just fine, despite hearing that they are having difficulty, you might want to take a closer look. If you lend a hand, it might just be the one that makes a difference. You might be the person who encourages someone to take off their mask, allowing them to finally begin the healing process. Every person needs to see a glimmer of hope to pull themselves out of their own personal pit. Feel free to share your thoughts at the comment sections below. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.